Racism alive and well. Black woman, successful business leader, has a racist neighbor. Let me give you the background. All right, let's put a picture up full mass. Her name is Angel Pittman, 20-year-old entrepreneur. She had dreams of creating and operating her own mobile hair salon. In September, she purchased an acre of unrestricted land in North Carolina for $10,000 and 3 school buses for $14,000. Good deal. Her plan was to turn one into a living space while occupying the other 2 as mobile salons. Now remember, she's only 20 with a remarkable idea. But her plans were quickly turned upside down when a racist white neighbor began terrorizing her and vandalizing her property. When she first visited the property and later during the closing of the land, she felt something was off in the predominantly white neighborhood, but forged ahead with her plans. During the closing, Ms. Pittman encountered an elderly white man who lived across her property, who she said, and I quote, had already given me weird vibes. But there were no indications of his intolerance. About a week after closing, on September 23rd, she returned with her mom to drop off the buses. This time, she said, the man approached them and asked, "Why are you guys here? Are y'all looking for shade?" This is, as I have said before, the equivalent of saying, "Where are your freedom papers? You don't have the right to travel here. You don't belong in this neighborhood," etc. There's more. When Ms. Pittman returned with her parents a week after dropping the buses off, the neighbor's behavior became more violent. He sat over there and had his gun out the whole time, she said. He was like, "Get the F off of my lawn," and that we need to get them effing buses off of his lawn. So basically saying my land was his. She then noticed her buses had been vandalized. The glass windows were broken. Racial slurs were etched. The man prominently displayed Confederate flag, swastikas, and KKK signs all over his yard, which Ms. Pittman said weren't there when she previously visited the plot. There's more. Let's put it up. Images of the damage can be seen here on Ms. Pittman's GoFundMe page, where she is raising money to help recoup her losses and buy more unrestricted land right around that racist SOB. Pittman and her family are all afraid to return to her land right now for fear of safety. That is the GoFundMe. That GoFundMe is doing well. More to the area where Pittman decided to purchase the land. Salisbury, a city within Rowan County. Rowan County is roughly 80% white, 17% black. It is considered a sundown town, a Jim Crow era term used to reference overwhelmingly white neighborhoods known for racial segregation. Catherine Mellon Sharon, a history professor at North Carolina State University, says sundown areas remain prevalent in places like Rowan County to limit home ownership for Black Americans. The Jim Crow saying was, "N-word, don't let the sun go down on you in this town." And this is actually a perfect opportunity for the federal government to get involved. Why? Because we do have a federal statute that allows the federal government to intervene. There is, in fact, property or housing discrimination violation. They can get involved now. We just gave them a window. There's more. Seeing the vandalism and afraid her land and buses could have been wired with bombs or bear traps, she called the police. When the Rowan County Sheriff's deputies arrived, Ms. Pittman and her parents reported that they saw a hate crime. But the deputies at the scene immediately brushed it off, telling her, "Oh yeah, they do that all the time." Pittman said, "The police talked to us for a little bit, but they did nothing. They just wrote a report and that was it." So in an interview with The Guardian, one of the sheriff's captains, Mark McDaniel, said the officers who went to the scene knew the elderly white man? I'm sure they did. And they observed the damage, the broken windows, and the stuff that was spray painted on. When posed a question about the recourse for the attack, McDaniel said the incident happened before he started at the office. However, he said, according to the report filed by the deputies, there is no indication it was a targeted attack because the neighbor always had white supremacy signs displayed. That's it, fellas. He was racist before they got there. So what is there to see here? That's insane. The mere fact that he had signs up before or after doesn't change the reality of his motive, which is racism. You see, that's how this works, detectives. All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
You have so much education and schooling. I almost don't even want it wasted on these fools in case they're listening, as you had to break down what is so rudimentary. This is easy stuff. This is called economic terrorism, Dr. Richey. Racists telling black people, you will not take up land here. You won't own it. And at this point, because the local authorities took a bottle of Dum Dum, people who are deemed to have done this racist should have to give up their land. She shouldn't have to worry about going back there. They shouldn't be there when she does.